Good evening. Here. Here. Forum, and no members are participating virtually at this point. Again. Our first item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes from April 13th. So I have a motion.
Aye.
Aye. Our next item on the agenda is public comment. Do you have any public comment? No written public comment. Our next item, which is approval of public service assessment measures. And then we want to review the service assessment.
We request is really a culmination of everything we've been doing from reviewing the application of Zoom grants and all of the questions we have been using and direction we provide. Also looking at our score questions and administrative score questions. The goal is to start by gathering as much information as really might need to take in one decision about funding and but really in our report, in our operational performance report, we're trying to provide very streamlined, consistent information that also follows best practices for case management. And so that's what you see on the screen here. We're looking at the total population served versus residents, the number of service plans created, the number of contacts, referrals, any additional needs, and then items. For safety net services, because this is a little bit more ambiguous, we're again looking at total population served versus the number of items served, big union or hours of service provided. And then again, any additional needs that these safety net service agency providers are seeing in the community or are not able to access the services. And again, exits. There are additional measures that we hope the community partners when reviewing funding recommendations, and those additional measures are around compliance, reporting for the programmatic information reporting, the cost reasonableness of the programs versus the award. How well the agency is meeting community needs. And this can be measured in different ways, We're primarily looking at the equity impact that the services are having, and also the feedback and how they're receiving that. And then we're also looking at ultimately, are these services providing stability for households? Can households reach stability and thrive in the community as a result of this? So I think that looks like in spreadsheet form is what you see in front of you. And it will open to box questions or suggestions for change.
I think it looks great. I think everything, it's easy to follow, chart. especially if we're actively debating the items, it's nice to have a just still visual.
Just, that second slide, um, the one before this, the, a lot, some of that's data, right? But the last two bullets, the you are really, is that really part of the narrative?
So,
I know there's been some measurable, right? But it seems like that's more of an assessment, right? Narrative assessment.
yeah, I would agree. It is not easily measurable. Agencies, there are many agencies do, for example, have participant surveys and do receive participant feedback, but we have not yet gone into the level of detail, requesting for those agencies, like what those surveys look like, how often surveys are given to participants, so there's not a ton of communication. And certainly, we're also moving our way through, not only in this committee, but the city of Evanston as an organization. And this is where those conversations with our community partners and your expertise in this community and in social relations and because not hear from our community, just our service providers, but also the residents. Maybe we hear that I think most effectively made it standardized in terms of what participants need, but where are the gaps in terms of what people need that they weren't getting from the plan or the safety net service. Then our exits successful because people gave those funds, or our exits because participants chose to participate. I do know from reviewing agencies, policy procedures, and their sort of way of doing business that case management agencies have standards by which they follow up for a household and program. And it's usually 6 months. Actually, check in. In the office, and we also have 6 month check in. So even if participants choose to disengage, there is a safety net. But as we know in case management, some participants are willing to stop the complete service line. I'm not sure they addressed your question because it's saying that
As a follow. This chart, there, but total number of people served in the facility. Fraction of like the same thing. But did you ask me question around household? Another 2 million, are you going to some questions to applicants, the recipients of our grant? Are they being asked, to address the question, equity, impact, asked to question? Are they, tell us, tell us how they, how they are meeting that goal. Like how are you getting that?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I appreciate it. So in the application, we asked a number of questions around the population served. And the staff demographics during the population. We also asked about board demographics, although that's challenging and perhaps not. We also, what we're trying to do, make sure that populations are actively represented in service provision, and that, to the extent possible, the agency's hiring practices meet community needs. And I'll use books and reference as an example, because they have a large team of volunteers, and they're very intentional about working with classroom students and community members to get a very diverse pool of volunteers. So, for the response, it's a question in the community submit that address equity specifically. We are trying to tease that information out in the application. There's an ongoing review of staff and hiring. So we have section there. We do have questions about community needs, some services.
I'm kind of pressing that. Underlying my question. Approach that you know, looking at us, how they assess themselves, what they consider. It's not set us, we the ones who set that application to set, here's the way you're measured. Question. How see all those people actually moving through time of need.
No, I appreciate that because when our allocation shifted pre-COVID, when we were just sort of funding agencies to do good work, there was more room in the conversation, whether it's reports of the application for agencies to tell us about the work that they're doing. And they actually did write their own outcomes. But we've done a big shift. So, while there might be an opportunity in the narrative for agencies to tell us about their successes, that's not been our focus. That is not our focus has been on like but it's a good point that maybe want to revisit at a later date. And I think another reason we're doing this now is because so agencies have reports due this month, and the committee will review the outcomes in September. Using this new template. And this upcoming year is not a new application cycle year, it is a long year. So we will not review new until the summer of 2020. That's when we'll be opening the application. But between now and then, not only do we get to chew on this new model a little bit and see it in practice, but we can also revisit the idea of a score matrix. And if there are gaps in the application process or gaps in the information we're collecting. If you could review the application question and well, I don't want to say smart questions, because we might move away from that model, but there is room to retool something for the right, 25, 26. I have to look to marriage to my analytic person.
Ask about like how it's incorporated. And if they have it, I think I remember somebody on an applicant have it, like, so I do know we did that in some. I recall that.
And as you were saying, I mean, I think that's where our expertise or our perspective comes in to help, you know, look at each of those factors and kind of make a determination of that. The applicants or whatever.
If we find that we need another section here that focuses specifically on participant feedback, information participant feedback, or more information about staff participant benefits, that's the activity management we want to use. This can be retooled. And by retooled, I suppose add another line.
I think adding equity, for me, like, graphic data, and narrative that we might have, of course, would be helpful. I think when we're talking about equity, we have to be really purposeful about it being part of the discussion on a regular basis. I think we're looking at this quickly. There should be some feedback, so that it remains top of mind.
And so just in order, we don't believe right now we have activity questions built into the reports, but we should have those questions built into the application. That is the information that we reflected, which is fine.
But it wouldn't update from quarter to quarter. It would just be, it's still,
Could we have, you know, a line of questions 1, 3, and 7 or could something like that work so that it's sort of top of mind what are the questions?
Yeah. Yes. And we do collect demographic information in the report period.
okay,
So
that would be one, yeah, great.
Well, previous iteration was to have passed the one granted on this data point.
but I think
I think it's just helpful to see if somebody, you know, what they requested and received last year. How it compared to this.
And it would just go in back.
Yeah.
Ready? We have to, or you know. Right. I need a motion to approve these reports with recommended education. And past awards. And I believe I have Vice Chair on me. So making a motion, and then I need a second. Perfect. Thank you.
I
then our next item.
Oh,
I will-
Slide. Around this. That's.
Yeah.
You have five primary uses, and one of them is administration at 7.5% grant. The big ones are street outreach, shelter operations, rapid rehousing for people who are, like, in households who are experiencing homelessness, that has that mission. And then housing, homelessness prevention for households who are in. The reason those two are singled out, there is management. Rapid housing and prevention programs, people can receive funds for direct rent or utility assistance, security deposits. That's primarily it. There are a few others, but usually rent. So this is what our 2022 allocation looks like. Our overall ESG grant for 2022 is larger than our 2023 grant. So I just need to keep that grant. But we do follow sort of a not strict, but we do follow the percent guideline for funding. The 7.5% of staff is a federal requirement. And then there is also, there can be movement between prevention and rapid housing, depending on where we're seeing the community. Our two primary ESG recipients, our only ESG recipients are connected to the homeless and the Y state. The Y is historically 15,000 for shelter operations, and connections. Is for
22, it's always 15%, there's 10%, but 23,000, 10%, 105, so it's always been 50%.
It is typically 15%.
Okay. That's just typo maybe 10% for the, where it says 10% next to almost prevented for 2022, okay. Want to make sure.
I believe that we shifted more funds to rapid rehousing. We were still reacting to COVID and rapid rehousing was very funds. June, there's a
Just mathematically,
Yeah.
so 15% or 10% of 150,000.
Well, no worries. I was making sure that was the amount that roughly the same amount last year, given for almost prevention, right? 22, 3,000. That's all I'm just trying to understand, that the case it's not 10%, it's 15%. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, outreach is right.
that the rapid rehousing, 40% within $51,000, so 10% by undertaking. That's the original numbers were there, but. How it will be valid. Okay, so that is where I made a mistake in this chart, I apologize. So, you were percent, it's the wrong, except for admin.
Okay. Also,
Yep, and I just, that's it essentially. I assume it's in the formula that is why we use that versus slightly 22, 23.
And I correct that one's right. And now I'm sharing. Don't know what I'm going to do. Should the committee approve these recommendations, they will go to council for approval.
140. I have a couple clarifying questions. How did the homeless and YWCA get into the run for 37,000? I understand most of it is not connected, like the YWCA, but how did that even come?
That's a great question. Connections is our largest provider. And Connections is also a member of our continuum of care, which is run by the federal requirement to be in partnership with the COC. And the reason Connections is the majority of the fund is because they're the organization that has the budget and the input. Having to provide the staff to manage the program, management staff to work with the city. But also as a banker is very challenging. For example, we have one of our 2022 funds committed for Connections, which means they're actively paying landlords. But we have not actually done the insurance. So they're doing all of this good work on the faith. And we feel but that amount and the amount of funds that we're carrying would like be very challenging for any other agency to manage. So the way so there are two things. When it comes to direct subsidies, so revenue and function funds, those participants selected come from the continuing affairs findings list. There's a coordinated entry process that all homelessness service providers are a part of. So anywhere someone enters into this, whether it's through interfaith action or meetings or charities, anywhere, they're all going on centralized ways, essentially. And what Evanston does is we don't manage that centralized ways. Neither is Connections. That's managed through the Alliance and Homeless. And the Alliance keeps the finances. And when people have previous experience in Evanston or come from Evanston, that is when they use the funds to match people with help. So that's very roundabout. And basically, actually, the only organization with
So they're equipped, they have resources, and they've done it in the past. Demonstrated that they do it effectively, consistently, so. They can. Okay. Now, do we have other agencies that like spoken up about this, though, like asking about, hey, how do we get involved? Or how do we,
You know, we really haven't, we do, I would listen with interview. And it's community funding, interview action, where they're emergency overnight shelter. All of interview action are connected to a connection to manager, so the agency worker. The same is true with family promise, another provider of these services in our area. All the participants, or all of the families that work with family promise, and ultimately, entered into the coordinated entry process, or that by names that the alliance runs, for everyone in our area. That is how this witness and managed services are, or resources really are provided to households in. I don't want to say the most information, but based on needs to the fact of that.
Connections to the homeless welfare around the state.
Not necessarily throughout the state, but we do get state funding, making it up. I don't know. And so. We leverage their incredible. They're a powerhouse of fundraising, and then we leverage state, local, federal funds to support Evanston, but also
I think that side.
they work in partnership with. Work with people.
Just like the town area, it's not like too short. It's all.
That'd be large, I looked
Yeah.
at that.
I don't think like all of the towns.
They have clients out. The out of Evanston started. But I think a large part of the plan.
And these funds are specific for.
And then they carry out price. Their base resources.
You restrict your coverage here in the city. Then you only get funding from the city. There's no way. You can fund the whole operation. So it's all the time required, not just like. Communities provide the system, most of them have large coverage here.
Council would recommend. So we're trying to,
Second,
right, I have a motion.
Jeremy did, all right.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Order y'all to take some time off, and take care of yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
As you can.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Right. I do need a second to again.
Second.
Okay, great. Let's go, please go.
Absolutely.
On to our next item, staff report. Staff report.
So while you guys are taking time off, you know, that you deserve it. I will be on vacation. My goal is to meet with, Infant Welfare Society, YOU, and the staff and company. And we're going to see it. So I'll be, I'm working. I would like to let the community know that there are two agencies. I am working through agreements with, funding, family focus. There was a little bit of, I would say confusion, but there have been some challenges with reporting for family focus. The city's hope was that we would be reviewing all case management files, and there are some conflicts. Because a portion of the focus is DCI funded and those programs, so there might be a violation. I certainly don't want to look at anyone's file that should not be reviewing. So I'm working that out with the agency. HAC, the Housing Authority of the County, use tax awards to contract with thresholds to provide case management services to city buildings in the system. That partnership has developed and HAC is taking a step back and is now moving into partnership with Impact in the girl home to provide case management services. Even though it sounds challenging, it is actually a great move. The HAC is using a lot of other funds to contract with Impact and other service providers to provide case management services to a number of their buildings throughout the county area. And Evanston is one of the pieces in that puzzle. It sounds like Evanston will just support a portion of staff salary that will be managing that program, and then they have to use ARPA funds to actually pay them to provide services. But we are working out those details, and that is why. In order to keep in close contact with transition, staff is proposing that, so they were awarded $12,000 for the program year. And normally what we would do is we would say, okay, instead of $55,000 to provide services January, December, we're going to give you that 55 to provide services July through June. And their renewal would come for the last half of 2024. Because HAC won't be submitting a report in a timely enough way for the community. Instead, what the city staff is proposing is that their initial reward is just 27.5, which is half of their award. For the second half of the 23 program, and once the committee is able to review reports and check on progress and this partnership is working, the HAC will request another 27.5 to cover the last half of 2024, and they will still have that 2025 to cover the first half of 24. But it just gives us a little bit of space. So, okay, so I need to do anything with that information yet, except know that half might not have a report in September. We're working on those details. And unless there are any questions. But let me also just say at our next meeting in September, we will be reviewing reports. We'll also take a look at our administrative policies and procedures in the social services committee. And we will be nominating a new slate, so new chair and vice chair. For the current chair and vice chair, I believe that's one more term that you could get that out there, yeah. So that will be in September, so please do enjoy August. Any questions?
So the impact contract in place or is it in process? Is there a gap?
If I have any questions.
Oh, sorry. I'll wait for September. Will we get an update on it? And on family focus? With, infant welfare and money.
Okay, I'll have a look at it.
I believe I have a motion for adjournment.
This is what revenue being.
Social services.
Yeah, I realized I came in, I was. I don't